Hello everybody, my name is Brianna Bealo and I'm a meteorologist here with the National Weather Service office in Grand Junction, Colorado, and this is your May 2026 monthly weather summary. So getting right into it, we have a May roller coaster. So kind of continuing on the heels of the month of April, which definitely saw a lot of ups and downs as far as precipitation and temperatures were concerned. May really kind of kept that going. So the month of May wound up being quite the roller coaster when it came to weather conditions. We had mountain snow and temperatures feeling more like early April than mid-May, to widespread fire weather conditions and near record high temperatures, to surprise severe weather, and even a few pleasant spring days in between. It seems like the month of May had it all, and even a bit of much needed precipitation as well. And as for our images here, I just kind of grabbed a few of our weather stories, kind of illustrating the kind of month that we definitely had. We went from, critical fire weather conditions with humidities less than 15% and wind gusts 30 to 40 miles an hour. We saw some of the better mountain snow we've seen this season, with some of our mountains, particularly along the divide, seeing 1 to 2 feet of snow, to some severe weather, where we had some strong gusty winds, we had some small hail, and we even issued the first tornado warning in the state this year. Let me tell you, that was terrifying. We never got any reports, so if you know anything about that tornado warning near Meeker, we'd really appreciate a report. But otherwise, it was definitely you kind of got it all when it came to the month of May. Moving into our more data-driven side of things, we have our high temperatures for the month. Our highest high was 96, which occurred in Canyonlands on May 12th, and our highest high was 81, which occurred in Aspen on the 13th. And you can see that our highest high temperatures in the month of May actually kind of occurred around that 12th to the 13th period. Which is interesting that it happens so early in the month, as we typically see our temperatures continue to rise throughout the month. But it was a strange sort of wibbly-wobbly roller coaster of a month, so I mean, take what you can get. At least we saw more closer to normal temperatures this month. As far as our low temperatures are concerned, our lowest low occurred in Durango on the 7th, and that was 21 degrees, with our lowest low in Grand Junction on the 7th at 37. These ones, again, you see a cluster around the 1st, you see a cluster around the 7th, and then there's Rifle, who also saw their lowest low on the 22nd and 23rd. So again, you saw that dip at the beginning of the month, and then our highest temperatures in the next week, and then a dip again, and a roller coaster. Precipitation not as good as April, as the majority of our climate sites saw below normal precipitation. Some with some substantial departures, looking at Aspen with over an inch below normal, but Craig managed to pull out an above normal month, with being our big winner at 1.92 inches, being almost 3/10 of an inch above normal. Meeker just about broke even. Vernal just about broke even. Yay. Rifle didn't do terribly. And then you kind of start getting into these between a quarter and a half an inch below normal. And then Durango and Cortez around 3/4 of an inch below normal, with Cortez being at the bottom here with just 3/100 of an inch for the entire month of May. And then, as I mentioned, you've got Aspen, who is over an inch below normal. So not as good as it could have been, but I mean, some of our sites definitely did better than they could have. We could have seen everybody be a Cortez and have a couple of 100ths of an inch of precipitation. So again, it's one of those things where you kind of take what you can get and hope for the best. As far as our drought update is concerned, looking at our drought conditions, we have actually, due to that better precipitation across the north, as I said, Craig was above normal, Meeker just about broke even, Rifle was relatively close to even, Vernal just about broke even. So we've seen improvements across northwest Colorado and northeast Utah, where a good chunk of that exceptional D4 drought is gone, and the extreme D3 drought has been nibbled away at, especially in northwest Colorado, where across the southern half of the area we have seen worsening. We completely got rid of that D1 moderate drought pocket in Montrose and San Juan County. So now this is all severe D2 drought, and we've seen D3 extreme drought kind of starting to encroach. So a little bit of a mixed bag as far as the month of May is concerned with regards to drought conditions, but again, that's not really surprising because it really was an all over the place kind of month. As far as the drought tendency is concerned, for the upcoming month. Climate Prediction Center is favoring us to see drought persisting across the entire CWA. But what is interesting is we are starting to see nibbles along our eastern border where we're seeing them favoring drought remains but improves or drought removal likely. So hopefully that will continue to spread west into our region, and maybe we can see a little bit of relief from this drought. Fingers crossed as we start to move towards monsoon season, which I will remind you does not start until July. Okay. Monsoon season typically for us here in Western Colorado and Eastern Utah does not start until the 1st to 2nd week of July. Sometimes we have early starts. We call them June soons. We had one last year. But climatologically, July. So fingers crossed as we move through the month of June and we start seeing moisture improving, temperatures cooling, that we might actually start to see that monsoonal push begin when it's supposed to. Snowpack update. I'm impressed that there is a snowpack to update on still, quite frankly, the way that this winter has gone. We have southeastern Utah completely melted out. Duchesne Basin pretty much completely melted out. Northeastern Uintas holding on to about 8% of normal. Not bad. San Miguel, Dolores, Animas, and San Juan melted out. Gunnison and Colorado headwaters, a couple of percentages of normal, so not completely melted out, but pretty darn close. And then there's the Yamba White and Little Snake, where they're still holding on to 30% of normal, which I think really just has to do with the fact that the Northern Divide Mountains really kind of got slammed a few times in the month of May, where they picked up some extra snowpack that's allowing them to hold on just a little bit longer. But I would not be surprised at all to see everybody's melted out when we do the June update. So could be worse, could be a lot better. And as far as our June outlook is concerned from the Climate Prediction Center, again, we are being favored to see above normal temperatures. We are still looking at a 40 to 50% chance of above normal temperatures with a slightly higher probability of 50 to 60% across northeast Utah and far northwestern Colorado, with maybe a sliver of slightly lower probability, so 33 to 40%, moving into some of our southeastern areas, so like along the San Juans and maybe towards Pagosa Springs. As far as precipitation is concerned, though, this is a promising outlook for June. Most of the areas looking at equal chances again, so equal chances to see above or below normal precipitation, but we are starting to see a monsoon signature. I know I just said that for us, we don't see monsoon really pick up until July, but for our southern neighbors, so Arizona and New Mexico, they do tend to see the monsoon start in June. So it's not really surprising to see this area of above normal precipitation kind of centered right over New Mexico. It's a little shifted a little further east than maybe typically you would expect, but this isn't weird. And it's nice to see some of these low probabilities of above normal precipitation sneaking up into our southern portions. So southwest Colorado valleys and into our San Juans, and maybe sneaking up into some of the southern portions of the Central Divide. So like Gunnison, Monarch Pass, that kind of area. So this is promising, but the probabilities are definitely low, and the vast majority of the area is favored to see either above or below normal precipitation, so there's not really a strong signal in either direction. So we're just going to have to wait and see. And that's that for the month of May summary. I hope you enjoyed and found something interesting or something to think about. There are other summaries if you want to check them out. There are written summaries with links in the description below. And you should go check out the seasonal summary because we are finally at the end of meteorological spring and on the threshold of meteorological summer. Yay! So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.